Critical Role Recap Season 2, Episode 21. We started off this episode with the Mighty Nine waking up in their Swamp Town Inn, in their underground cellars of rooms, making their way to the tavern itself, ordering some breakfast. They are then confronted by our guest, who is helmed by Matt Hughes, and he plays Caliana, a half-elf human who the whole left half of her is like dragon, basically. Dragon scales and like dragon claws for a left hand and also a tail. And we gather through conversation that she is trying to find a bowl, which she believes is somewhere in the swamp and in this storehouse that she heard the Mighty Nine talking about the day before. And she's wanting to know if she can come with them. And basically eventually kind of tells them that the bowl is used by some cult that had adopted her / abducted her off of the streets. She wanted to prevent them from getting it. She wanted to either destroy it or somehow keep it away from them because she didn't want them to be able to use it. So the group agrees to go ahead and take her along with them and sets out along with their guide that they had paid 100 gold previously to help them find this storehouse and to investigate what happened. They make their way through the swamp without much issue. They fight a plant, kind of. Like, they basically blow up a plant that it releases spores. Ford accidentally stumbled on it and releases the spores, but he managed to, through a wisdom saving roll, be immune to its effects. But they decided to go ahead and blow it up, and it took them actually multiple rounds of throwing spells at it, but it moved really slowly, so they were never really in any risk. Later on, another similar plant did manage to get its effect off on their guide, and their guide started to wander straight over to the plant to be eaten by it, basically. But with quick thinking, thanks to Callie, she used Levitate to pull him up above the grasp of the plant, and so the plant was like kind of trying to chomp at him and eat him, but he was floating just above the grasp. They also, on their way there, realized that there was some sort of troll creature following them, stalking them, and possibly looking to pick off one of their people, as opposed to fighting them head on. Just kind of wants to grab someone and take them off to their bone-filled hut that they have, that the Mighty Nine had stumbled across. They finally do manage to find the hideout that they had been looking for, along with some dead bodies that have been nailed through various weapons to tree trunks and stood up on staves and stuff like that. They did talk to one of the dead bodies because Jester picked up the spell that allows her to speak with the dead, and they found out that they were fishmen that had attacked and killed them all. In the middle of this conversation, though, they look over and Nott tries to remind their guide to keep close because there's a troll stalking through the trees. And what do you know? The troll snatches him and tries to run away with him. The party immediately attacks the troll, find out that hitting the troll, because it's covered in bulbous pustules that ooze acid apparently, hitting the troll actually causes it to do damage to enemies near it. And so they basically kill their guide through attacking this troll because it does that much damage each time it gets hit. And then Bo gets to melee range and ends up getting knocked unconscious because of the acid spray from hitting it. So basically, like, the troll actually didn't ever attack them, but it knocked out and completely killed. He lost all of his death saving throws, their guide, and then it knocked Bo unconscious just through the oozing pus and shooting out poison and acid from its skin, basically. They did manage to... It also scooped up Bo and tried to jump away with her. They did manage to get Bo out of its grasp, but then it ended up running off with their guide, and they're just kind of like, we'll go back to the troll's hut to track it down there, but the guy is dead. Like, he's for sure dead, but they could track it down and kill it and get the 100 gold back that they had paid the guy, maybe, if they decide it's worthwhile. So they make their way into the hideout itself, the storehouse, and try and kind of sneak through, and do manage to come upon 3 fishmen who are unaware of their presence initially, but then the Mighty Nine sit around for a while and talk and gab while the enemy is just right there in the other room, and eventually the fishmen hear them, and so they don't get an ambush round. They fight the 3 fishmen, and then a 4th one comes up in the middle of the fight as well, and they manage to take them all down. Ford does get knocked unconscious and then uses his resolve to come back up, and then gets knocked unconscious again. But otherwise, most of the party is relatively undamaged after they do dispose of these 4 fishmen. They then start to root around the area, and Nott manages to find the bowl that Callie was looking for. Nott hides it for a little bit, but eventually they end up giving it over to Callie after making sure that Callie's intentions were what she said they were. Tried to destroy it, and eventually Yasha uses her Dispel Magic sword to strike it at the same time that she's dispelling the magic, and actually manages to destroy it, to everyone's surprise. So Callie is very thankful for that, obviously, because her task is now complete, and she can go look for more artifacts to destroy to try and continue to thwart this cult that she used to be a part of. Ford, meanwhile, hears the voice again, the familiar voice in his head that's urging him on, and it tells him to learn, and he gets a sensation of pulling him down into this watery cavern that they saw the 4th fishman arrive from. So he goes ahead and jumps down and swims through the whole tunnel and pops up on the other side, where he finds 5 to 6 more fishmen on the other side. So he goes ahead and turns around, swims back to the group, and tells them what's going on. And so they begin to make preparations after helping Caliana out with the bowl and fully searching the area. They make preparations to rest up and bed down, and then go into this other cavern after they've managed to rest up and heal up from the fights that they had throughout the day. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're souping up next week to fight some more fishmen and figure out maybe what Ford is supposed to be learning, that this deity entity thing wants him to learn by going through this cavern. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.